Massive economic shifts. They're nothing new, right? They are these huge, powerful forces that just come in and completely change everything, leaving a trail of winners and, well, losers. The real key to survival, and not just survival, but success, has always been spotting that next big disruption before it totally reshapes your world. And guess what? The next one's already here, and it's quietly rewriting all the rules of the game.
Okay, I know that sounds incredibly harsh, but this isn't about bad managers or people not working hard enough. It's about a kind of structural blindness. It's about failing to see those fundamental, ground-shaking shifts that can make a perfectly good business model suddenly and completely obsolete.
To really get what's happening now, I want you to travel back with me for a second, to the late 19th century. Picture a world powered by steam. It's loud, it's inefficient, and you've got these huge, clunky belts driving every single machine. And then, practically overnight, this new invisible force shows up, electricity. This quote, it just captures that moment so perfectly. It wasn't just a new way to get power, it was literally the sound of the future arriving.
So here's the crucial part. This created a very clear choice. You could stick with your giant, clunky steam engine, or you could adapt to these small, versatile electric motors. Now, the folks who adapted could totally redesign their factories, their workflows, their entire business model. And the ones who didn't, well, their booming workshops pretty much turned into museums overnight. Just historical footnotes. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's ancient history. But this pattern of disruption, it's not. We have all lived through a much more recent and just as brutal transformation. I'm talking about the digital revolution. Just think about these giants on the left, Blockbuster, Kodak, Nokia. These guys were absolute titans. But they were built for a world that was literally vanishing before their eyes. They couldn't adapt, while the digital natives on the right, like Netflix, didn't just compete, they changed the entire game. It's the exact same story, just a different chapter. You either adapt or you disappear. And that brings us right here, to today. The next great disruptive force is upon us. But it's not about a new energy source or a new way to communicate. No, this time it's a fundamental, ground-up rethinking of our entire economic model, shifting from a straight line to a circle.
So what on earth is the circular economy? Well, at its heart, it's a system that just completely rejects that old take, make, and dispose model that's been running the show since the Industrial Revolution. Instead of just throwing things away, the whole idea is to find value in keeping products and materials in use for as long as humanly possible.
And wow, this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the linear model. It's basically a one-way street from the mine to the landfill. It's built on waste. But on the right, you see the circular model. It's a loop. It's a closed system that's designed to squeeze every last drop of value out of the resources we've already taken. So how does this actually work? Well, it all comes down to 4 key ideas. First, you start with sustainable materials right from the get-go. Second, you design products not to be disposable, but to be repaired, to be upgraded. Third, you get the most out of them through things like sharing or leasing. And finally, and this is the absolute game changer, you start treating waste not as a problem, but as a seriously valuable resource. And that brings us to the most crucial point. This isn't just about being green. Let's be really clear. This is about a massive economic opportunity. This is about turning what used to be a cost, getting rid of your trash, into a brand new and highly profitable source of revenue.
And look, this isn't some quirky thing for small startups. Check out Stellantis, the automotive behemoth behind brands from Jeep to Peugeot. They're going all in on this. Their Dare Forward 2030 plan is literally building entire business units just for remanufacturing parts, recycling materials, and making cars last longer.
And we're not talking about pocket change either. Their goal is to generate over 2 billion euros in revenue just from these circular activities by 2030. That's not a side hustle, that's a core part of their financial strategy. And get this, their growth target is just insane. They plan a 10-fold, a 10x, increase in their recycling revenues by that same year. They are proving that there is a goldmine hiding in what other companies are still treating like junk. And the ripple effect here goes way beyond just one company's balance sheet. The European Union estimates that this shift towards circular practices could create 700,000 new jobs by 2030. That isn't just growth, that's an economic transformation on a massive scale. So we can see this enormous potential. But why is this happening with so much force right now? Well, it's not happening by accident. It's actually a convergence of several powerful global forces, all pushing the circular economy from a cool idea into an absolute economic necessity. The biggest driver, without a single doubt, is the accelerating impact of climate change. This quote from the World Economic Forum, it's just stark. Extreme weather is now viewed as the #1 threat to the global economy for the next decade. The way we've been doing things is simply becoming untenable.
But it's not just the climate. As you can see here, it's really a perfect storm of factors. You've got intense pressure coming from customers and investors. You've got governments rolling out new regulations. We're all realizing we need more resilient supply chains. And, critically, we have the technology, like AI and IoT, that makes all of this possible at a scale we couldn't have even dreamed of before. All these forces are hitting at the exact same time.
And let's just zoom in on that customer pressure for a second, because it's a huge piece of the puzzle. This data shows a really clear generational shift. Yeah, a strong majority of baby boomers care about sustainability, but look at Gen Z. A whopping 75% say it's a key factor when they buy something. The market isn't just suggesting this change. The next generation of consumers is demanding it.
You know how the digital age gave us born digital disruptors like Netflix that just blew up the old models? Well, the same thing is happening right now. This new era is creating born circular companies. These are businesses that are built from the ground up on these principles. They don't have to unlearn decades of bad habits, which makes them a massive threat to the established players who are too slow to change.
And that brings us right back to where we started. That same choice that faced factory owners in the age of steam and that faced executives in the age of dial-up internet, well, it's presenting itself once again.
So let's be crystal clear. The circular economy is not a trend. It's a fundamental economic transformation. It is rewriting the rules of competition, of value, and of success. Ignoring it is like trying to run a steam engine on an electric grid. It's not going to work for much longer. The historical parallels are undeniable, and the forces pushing this change are getting stronger every single day. This transformation is happening with or without you. So the final question is really simple. Are you ready to get on board, or are you going to be left behind at the station, a relic of a world that no longer exists?